As any parent or student knows, social media has radically changed the way kids communicate with each other, with teachers and coaches. Phone calls and notes have been replaced by messages on channels like Twitter or Facebook.
There's a lot of secrecy. Well, tonight the investigators have discovered it's a big shift that's being ignored by a startling number of school districts.
As Joanne Purton reports tonight, districts have failed to act despite more cases of teachers and coaches crossing the line.
A teacher at Bishop.
Former high school teacher convicted.
Substitute teacher accused of using.
The stories are all too familiar.
The middle school teacher accused of sexual misconduct with
Teachers and coaches.
Inappropriate relationship with a student.
Having sex with students.
We certainly have seen more cases than ever.
Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith can list them off, including the Bishop Foley teacher who preyed on a teen boy and the teacher in Armada who was sentenced for having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old. The common theme in so many of these cases:
social media, the way we have access now with the kids and the teachers. Nowadays, kids become friends with their teachers online, through Facebook, through all forms of social media, and it's breaking down the normal conventional walls. With social media, communication can be private and very fast and accelerates relationships very quickly.
The investigators found Snapchat and FaceTime were the networks of choice for Catherine Ronk. Robert Yake reached out to his victim on Kik and Instagram.
Social media is the open gateway that allows any teacher who wants to be a predator to have ready access to children.
Terry Abbott is a former chief of staff at the U.S. Department of Education and one of the nation's leading experts on sexual misconduct by teachers and coaches.
In Michigan last year, Michigan had the 15th highest number of cases in the country last year. 20 cases in Michigan just that we tracked, and this is just from media reports. So we know that there are more out there that we don't even know about in these numbers because they may never have hit the media, and that should be scary for every parent and every educator. The secrecy is the part that has to stop. You eliminate the secrecy, you eliminate the problem, at least on that regarding social media.
The first step, Abbott and Smith agree, is crystal clear.
School districts have got to do something about that. I think that begins with having a strong policy that prohibits secret messaging between teachers and students.
Would you like to see all schools have a social media policy in place?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
As a mom, I figured most school districts were already tackling this issue. There are rules in place, after all, for just about everything regarding our kids in schools. Social media rules seemed obvious. But what we found out is that in many local districts, it's not even on the radar. The investigators reviewed school board policies at 84 school districts in Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Washtenaw, and Monroe counties, and we found 44% had no specific policy. We do not have a separate policy, admitted an official with the Troy School District. We rely on the professionalism of our staff, the technology, acceptable use policies already in place, and various contract language to cover interaction. Ann Arbor Public Schools and the Rochester Community School District were among those that also admitted there was nothing specific on the books.
Every district needs a strong social media policy, and if they don't have a strong social media policy, they are behind right now.
Leading the way locally, West Bloomfield and Taylor. Both districts forbid employees from being friends with students on social media. They can only communicate on public pages. All private messaging is banned. Phone numbers cannot be shared unless the district says okay.
We wanted something in place that would protect our students and protect our staff.
Of the 56% of districts that do have policies, most are the same. Staff can communicate with students on social media, but only about school matters. Abbott says that's a start, but it's not nearly enough.
The secret is to make sure that any message that happens between a child and a teacher must be in a public place where everyone can see it, so that the first time a teacher sends a kid a secret text message in the middle of the night, you can fire that teacher. You do that a few times, we will start slowing this issue down. But while districts have wide open policies or no policies at all regarding social media, this type of thing will continue to happen.
There's another critical piece to all this that Terry Abbott and Prosecutor Smith stress, and it's the role we parents play. We need to know what our kids are doing on social media and who they're texting, because while we know the vast majority of teachers and coaches would never cross that line, we need to help watch for the one who may. Also, what role does our legislature play in all of this? We'll look at that tomorrow. I'm Joanne Purton, 7 Action News.
You have to be so careful and watch what your kids are doing, don't you?
Watch what you're doing, because you can't count on the school doing it for them.